The rain came down in acidic sheets, sizzling against metal and stone. Jace Rowan adjusted the hood of his patched-up jacket and kicked through the rubble of the crash site. His scanners had picked up a surge of alien bioenergy, the kind pirates or warlords paid well for. What he hadn't expected was to find this. It lay in a twisted crater, white as starlight, covered in blood and scorched debris. At first, he thought it was just a strange alien statue, a relic maybe, until its eye moved. Holy stars! The creature was huge, twice the size of a cargo hauler. Its wings were mangled, one nearly torn off. Its back legs were limp, twisted unnaturally. Lightning flashed, and he saw the long muzzle twitch. It was alive, barely, an albino skeldrake. Mythical, hunted, extinct, or so they said. And yet, here it was. He should have run, called someone, sold the coordinates. Instead, he dropped to his knees beside the beast. "You're hurt bad," he said softly, "but you're not dead." The dragon opened its mouth slightly, letting out a low whimper. The sound wasn't rage, it was pain, fear. Jace looked at the creature's shattered body, and then down at his own wiry frame. "This is a stupid idea," he muttered, and then he started to lift. It took hours. He couldn't carry the entire dragon, but he scavenged hover plates from wreckage, strapping them under its massive form. He bound the wings with ship cable, braced the broken leg with carbon rods. Rain soaked him to the bone. His back screamed, but the dragon's breathing steadied. He brought it to his garage, a half-collapsed station on the edge of the Badlands. Not a hospital, not a lab, just tools, parts, and his stubbornness. Days passed. He cleaned the wounds, burned away the infection, welded support exo braces to the legs, unsure if the nerves were even functional anymore. The dragon never fought him, just watched. Jace worked, slept on the floor, and talked to the beast like it could understand. "Maybe it could. I used to fix fighters for Core Navy," he said once, tightening a bolt near the wing joint. "Quit after they started bombing civvies. Swore I'd never fix another weapon again." The dragon blinked slowly. "You're not a weapon. Not anymore." He fed it synth meat and coolant-laced water. Slowly it healed. The burns faded. Scars formed. The wing twitched. But the legs, they stayed limp. He tried everything. Stimulants, neural mesh, crude cybernetics. Nothing worked. Until one night, as he was nodding off against its side, the dragon shifted. A claw twitched. A telone dragged across the floor. Jace bolted upright. "Do that again." The dragon looked at him and, with a low grunt, flexed both rear legs slightly. "You can move." Hope crashed into him like a nova burst. Weeks passed. The garage became a home. Jace named the dragon Ashen, for its color, for the smoke it once rose from. He built harnesses, braces, rails, encouraged movement, fed the beast protein-laced meals. Every day, Ashen improved. Not fast, but steady. Muscles rebuilt. Tendons regrew. Then came the day Jace opened the hangar bay, and Ashen stood, trembling, and took his first full step. Jace laughed until he cried. "You did it," he whispered. "You actually did it." Ashen pressed his forehead against Jace's chest, gently, reverently. The bond was unspoken, but real. The peace didn't last. They came 2 nights later. Collectors from the Obsidian Syndicate, dragon hunters, scavengers of rare biology. They tracked the energy signature from the crash, surrounded the station with pulse rifles and null fields. Jay stood between them and the dragon. "You're not taking him. You're harboring a war-bred bioengineered weapon." The lead merc sneered. "Step aside." Ashen growled from behind, but his legs still weren't strong enough for full combat. Jace knew it. So he did the only thing he could. He raised his hands and lied. He's dead. Paralysis. Total neural death. I couldn't save him. The merc scowled. Prove it. Jace stepped aside. Scan him. They did. Ashen lay motionless, hiding his breath, slowing his heart rate, mimicking death as Jace had taught him. The scans came back inconclusive. Low activity, minimal signs of life. Waste of time, one muttered. They left. Jace exhaled hard as Ashen slowly lifted his head. That was too close, he whispered. The dragon licked his cheek. 6 months later, Ashen walked on his own. He couldn't fly yet, but he could run, leap, roar. He was no longer a creature of pity, but of power and loyalty. And one night, while Jace was tuning a repulsor coil, a message crackled to the long-range comms. Emergency distress beacon. Colony World Aurealis 7. Under attack by Syndicate forces. Civilians trapped. No escape vector. Jace looked at Ashen. You thinking what I'm thinking? The dragon's tail slammed against the wall in agreement. They arrived in hours. The sky over Aurealis 7 burned red. Syndicate warships loomed overhead. Civilians were trapped in mining tunnels. Resistance fighters had been slaughtered. And then a roar split the heavens. Ashen descended like a storm. Syndicate ships scrambled. Fighters swarmed. Ashen dodged, dove, unleashed his fury, not flame, but focused plasma breath, sharp and precise. He landed with bone-shattering force, crushing tanks underfoot. And Jace, riding on his back in a custom harness, shot EMP bursts at enemy drones and hacked Syndicate comms to scramble their targeting. The people called a miracle, a dragon, they whispered, a ghost, a guardian. They became legend. Ashen and Jace, the dragon who should have died, and the man who wouldn't let him. They struck Syndicate convoys, rescued colonies, protected the forgotten. Jace never asked for praise. He fixed broken things. That's what he did. And Ashen, once paralyzed and abandoned, became a symbol of second chances, not because of war, but because a human chose compassion over profit, and a dragon chose trust over instinct. The galaxy would remember them, not as weapon and mechanic, but as friends who carried each other when they couldn't walk alone.